Man, we are getting real close to Sparktober, or maybe by the time you guys see this video, we will already be in the age of Sparking Zero. And because we are on the cusp of peak hitting our consoles and PCs in the form of Sparking Zero, I wanted to make this video breaking down which characters I would like to see for DLC. I don't think I've seen excitement for an anime fighting game like this ever. I don't think you guys have ever seen me this excited for a game. I only wish that Toriyama could see how excited all of his loyal fans are with the adaptation of the greatest manga ever written into what may become the greatest arena fighting game ever made. So rest in peace Toriyama, thank you so much for all of your hard work over the years. Sparking Zero's entire roster has unfortunately leaked online. Maybe you're seeing this in the future, you already have the game, but for those of you watching it in the present, it has unfortunately leaked on Twitter and it's all over YouTube. And being somebody that has a presence on YouTube, unfortunately it was unavoidable for me, and people have been spamming my DMs and spamming my Twitter with Sparking Zero spoilers. However, if I'm being completely honest, I signed onto Twitter and it was the first thing on my feed. I could have looked away, but I didn't because I'm a knuckle dragging caveman, and putting Dragon Ball in my face is like giving candy to a baby. Very easy to lure me in. So I kept watching and scrolling and I spoiled myself, but I'm not even mad. It is what it is. Don't worry though. For the purposes of the video, I won't be spoiling anything for you guys. That said, this roster is absolutely huge. Now this isn't a spoiler because it's on the back of the game's cover, but there is said to be 180 characters plus at launch. This is one of the rare times where I think we can collectively agree there's nothing to complain about when it comes to this game's roster. This is where I'm like, okay, you can create DLC for this game and I will buy it. This is, as far as I'm aware, the biggest fighting game roster of all time, excluding fan-made ones in the form of Mugen, of course. Now, for this list that I'm creating, I will be omitting manga-specific characters that have not been animated yet, or characters that should be on the Sparking Zero roster but are mysteriously missing, like Super 17, just because I think someone like him will show up eventually, as well as others like Pycon and potentially King Vegeta. Like I said, there will be no spoilers in this video, so it's just going to be based on things I've seen in other Dragon Ball animes or different Dragon Ball mediums in what I believe could work in a video game setting. So to start off the list, this is going to be one that is not in anything but makes sense in my head, so please indulge me for just a moment. Goku Black and Baby Vegeta. We've seen Goku Black use the Potara earrings to fuse with Zamasu, but we've never seen him do the fusion dance. We could get ourselves an evil version of Gogeta if he did the fusion dance with Baby Vegeta. This Baby Vegeta could be from a timeline where the heroes were unsuccessful in stopping Vegeta's possessed body from destroying everything, and since Baby hates the Saiyan race, I'm sure he'd get on just fine with Goku Black. They'd fuse to create a Dark Vegito or a Gogeta and have a whole host of new attacks. It's something that I've always wanted to see in Dragon Ball Heroes. I don't think it was ever in there, in case I missed it, and I think a video game would be the perfect opportunity to show off this new evil fusion. The next set of characters I'd like to see in this are Time Patrol Goku and Time Patrol Vegeta. Otherwise known as Zeno Goku and Zeno Vegeta, these two come as a package for me. You can't have one without the other. They're mainstays of the Dragon Ball Heroes timeline. So let's start with Zeno Goku. Whilst he retains a lot of the personality traits that make Goku who we all love today, this version is a lot more mature and favours ending battles early due to the responsibility he has to the Time Patrollers. That's a contrast from regular Goku, who likes to draw battles out to get the most out of them. This already presents an opportunity to change up the way he fights in the gameplay, with more deadly attacks designed to catch enemies off guard and end the fight quickly. The same can be said for Zeno Vegeta, who is depicted to be more mature than his main timeline counterpart, as he seems more willing to work with Goku to get the job done. So from a gameplay perspective, this Vegeta could have more ruthless attacks than he already does, as he sees getting the mission done as a high priority. Both of these versions of Goku and Vegeta utilize Super Saiyan 4 as their most powerful forms. However, in these Super Saiyan 4 forms, they are able to use Limit Break, which exceeds the regular power of GT Super Saiyan 4 versions. Yes, it would mean more Gokus and Vegetas on the base roster, but like I said, we've almost almost got everyone in the series anyway, so what's the harm? The next character I'd really like to see is Raditz with his Super Saiyan 1, 2 and 3 forms. Now in the Dragon Ball Heroes story, there is a version of Raditz that fell through the cracks of time and wandered aimlessly across several alternate realities where over time he eventually obtained Super Saiyan forms 1 through to 3. I always like the idea of Goku having an evil brother, and it's a shame that he's been dead for so long with no revival in any forms of media apart from Dragon Ball Heroes. A video game would be the perfect place to do that. Raditz has also got a badass design, let's be honest, and because he was killed so early in the show, they could literally do whatever they wanted with him in terms of power and general aesthetic changes once he does transform. It's also important to note that Raditz died with his tail intact, so it would be cool to see a Saiyan going through their evolutions with a tail. It's not something we've really seen before. It could change the appearance of these Super Saiyan forms, although the Raditz that we see in Dragon Ball Heroes looks very much like your typical Super Saiyan 3. The next character I'd like to see is a legendary Super Saiyan 4 Broly. This Broly is based on the original Z Broly that was completely out of control. There's not much to say here except for everything that you saw Broly doing before, he does in his Super Saiyan 4 form with 10,000 times more power. He obtained this form in Dragon Ball Heroes and almost destroyed everyone he came into contact with. All of his moves are amplified, and the only notable difference in appearance from Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 forms is the lack of pupils in his eyes and his gigantic frame. Raging Blast featured Broly in his Super Saiyan 3 form, so it seems only normal that we up the levels just a little bit and turn Broly into the legendary Super Saiyan 4. The next character I'd like as DLC is Beat. And Beat is a Saiyan hero only in name. He's actually an Earthling who utilizes the advanced time travel technology of the Dragon Ball Heroes machine, allowing him to become a pure Saiyan. He's the main character in the Dragon Ball Heroes games and has access to Super Saiyan 1 to 3, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and of course Ultra Instinct. He is also Great Saiyan Man number 4. Beat is kinda like us, the kids that would play the card games or video games, except he got sent into the world of Dragon Ball. It would give the developers a chance to create something really interesting and give him his own unique moveset. After all, Beat is just like the player, except he is utilizing the powers that we all wish that we had. The next character I'd like to see is Raditz. Raditz is a villain in the Dragon Ball Heroes story and the main antagonist of the Universal Conflict arc. He basically planned to overthrow Zeno and conquer the multiverse. He was actually stopped by Vegeta in one of the better fights from the Dragon Ball Heroes series, where Vegeta and Goku were forced to fuse because Goku failed to defeat him in a one-on-one fight. Raditz has some interesting abilities that don't just rely on energy blasts. He can manipulate your blast and send them back to you. He can also use these cube-like energy blasts to attack you and trap you, and he seems to be able to control gravity and lock you down. On top of that, he's able to transform into Super Hearts, which grants him a considerable boost in power and allowed him to momentarily fight against Gogeta. The next character I'd like to see is Cumber. Cumber is the first time that we were introduced to the ancient Saiyan, suggesting this is what the Saiyans look like in their most primal forms. They also suggest that Cumber may be from the age of evil Saiyans that fought against the heroic Saiyans, that utilized the God form, which would explain why he becomes so angry when he sees Goku using it. Resembling the general aesthetic of Broly, with Raditz's hair length, Cumber is a Saiyan so powerful that he was able to fight Vegeta Blue and was excited when he came up against Broly. He also has access to a Super Saiyan Grade 8 form, as he still has his tail intact. Cumber uses the evil Saiyan state, which seems to be a direct contrast to Super Saiyan God. With this power, Cumber was able to put up an even battle in his Super Saiyan 3 form against Broly in Super Saiyan 4. It suggested that Cumber actually would have won that fight if it wasn't interrupted. The next character I'd like to see is Fu. Fu is an interesting character because he's been featured in several pieces of Dragon Ball media. First being revealed in Dragon Ball Online as a child, we later see him in Xenoverse 2, where he debuts as the Fu we know today. He is the son of Tower and Mirror and one of the main antagonists of the Dragon Ball Heroes anime. He also becomes the Dark King of the Demon Realm, so needless to say, Fu is extremely powerful. Fu, for the majority of Dragon Ball Heroes, has been pulling the strings from behind the scenes and causing nothing but trouble for the heroes across multiple timelines. Fu's list of powers and transformations are extensive, as he messes with time often and differs from a lot of other characters in the show. He often uses the DNA from Saiyans to increase his power and go into new forms. Final form Fu or Ascended Fu is so powerful that he's referred to being on par with Zeno, although I'm not sure if that is entirely true. Needless to say, he's one of the strongest villains in the entire series. The next character I'd like to see is Golden Cooler. There isn't really much to say here. Golden Cooler, much like Golden Frieza, is a stronger version of regular Cooler and appears in Dragon Ball Heroes. I just thought it would be cool to have both brothers in the game in their golden forms, and who knows, maybe someone can throw them a Potara earring. Maybe we can get an actual fusion between Frieza and Cooler. I think that'd be pretty cool. Besides, look how cool this character looks. Golden Cooler and Frieza team battles against Goku and Vegeta would be absolutely amazing. And the last character on my list that I'd like to see as DLC is Intelligent Cell Max Super Perfect Form. Now I know that's a mouthful, but hear me out. Cell Max has got to be one of the most disappointing and overhyped characters in the history of Dragon Ball. I have no idea why they didn't allow Cell to reach his final form and have a proper showdown with Gohan in the superheroes film, but a video game is the perfect place to fix this. Allow Cell to regain his intelligence and go into his super perfect form for that rematch with Beast Gohan. The way it should have been, to be honest. He'd be the strongest character in all of Dragon Ball, excluding the manga characters of course. I just think it would be a cool twist for a character that never really got his shine. Now that is a very quick list that I put together of characters that I'd like to see as DLC. Of course, as I said, there have been a lot of leaks, so if there are characters that didn't make this list and you're wondering why they're not on there, put two and two together. As I said, I'm not going to cover the leaks on this channel, and it's very disappointing that I got spoiled for them, but I'm still super excited to see the trailers that they drop in the lead up to Sparking Zero's release. Now there's going to be much more announcements on this channel surrounding Sparking Zero and Sparking Zero content, so stay tuned for that. I won't speak about it just yet, but I will update you guys as soon as I can. Anyways guys, let me know which characters you want to see in Sparking Zero. We're getting so many characters and we don't even know who the DLC characters that are already planned are going to be in this game. So some of these characters might actually even be in there. We might even get completely original characters, who knows. But let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys very soon. Take care and peace.